The best origin of Guy Gardner. Let me explain. My favorite Green Lantern is Guy Darren Gardner, and he's what I like to call the worst of the best. Guy is good enough to be a Green Lantern, and a pretty powerful one at that. However, he also is just a real piece of work and an unpleasant person to be around, which is both surprising and unsurprising when you learn of his origin. Guy was born in Baltimore, Maryland to Peggy and Joe Gardner, with his older brother Mace being the star of the family. Mace was an amazing football player and won many games for his high school, eventually going on to the police academy to become an officer. Meanwhile, Guy wasn't nearly as good at football despite being trained to be so. Instead, Guy was a fan of comics and more specifically General Glory and his sidekick Battling Boy, who had a bowl cut, resulting in Guy getting a bowl cut to be like him. Unfortunately, Guy's home life was very dysfunctional and his father would often abuse Guy for not being good enough. After giving up on being an athlete like his brother, Guy tried to appease his father by becoming super smart, creating a device that would get him an A+. Proud of what he achieved, Guy rushed home to show his father, who had just been fired from his job. This resulted in him accidentally destroying Guy's project and his father blaming him. This moment made Guy give up on any chance that he would be as loved as Mace, so when Guy was 16, he dropped out of high school and turned to crime. This lasted until 2 weeks after Guy was 18, when two officers picked him up and recognized he was the brother of Mace. They then took Guy to a football field where his brother was waiting, and Mace beat up Guy. In the end, Mace told Guy that this was his last chance to straighten up and do something with his life, giving his little brother money in some inspirational words. This genuinely helped Guy as he then got his GED, became employed, and went to college where he also became a football player. In Guy's senior year, he won the championship game and returned triumphantly to his parents, who were sobbing and broke the news to Guy that Mace was shot earlier that day and was now in a coma. To make matters worse, it was revealed at the hospital that Mace was a dirty cop and was taking money in from drug dealers. Mace would eventually wake up from his coma, but he would never walk again, resulting in Mace ending his own life. With the Gardner family in shambles, Guy went back to college and got a degree in psychology and education, which he used to talk to prison inmates and become a special education teacher. He was then the second choice to be an Earth Green Lantern, right behind Hal Jordan, and even though Hal was picked, Guy would eventually become Green Lantern.